So I just want to take a moment to talk about the general stresses and strains of moving to another country. I think a lot of people think that it's just a question of getting a job and away you go, but it's just not that simple. One of the biggest problems of all is that in those initial weeks and months, you generally need quite a large amount of money to be able to settle in. There are a lot of upfront costs that a lot of people forget to mention and ignore completely. And that is something which you need to plan for. And if it has been planned for adequately, it will mean that the whole transition of moving to the UK will be a lot easier. And I want to share with you something which I found out that you may well not know about, and that was this goes back to the point I was mentioning before about the fact that the majority of UK rental properties are unfurnished, and you suddenly find yourself looking at a property that you like is absolutely fine, but you've got no furniture in the property at all. And then you start looking around a lot of the furniture stores in the UK, and you realize that the cost of furniture is astronomical. You can probably quite easily, in a small three-bedroom property, quite easily, and I'm being quite conservative here, you can probably quite easily spend ten to £15,000 on furniture alone for that particular property. And if you've just arrived in the country, the very last thing you want to do is be spending ten to £15,000 on furniture, because it is much better to keep that money in your bank account for any unexpected problems that may arise. And obviously, money in the bank account is security. You'll feel a lot more relaxed if you've got that money in the bank account. And one thing that I didn't realize actually before coming back to the UK from Hong Kong was that there are charity shops. Now, hear me out here. There are charity shops which specialize in secondhand furniture. And I want to mention the British Heart Foundation, because what we found was that the British Heart Foundation supplies really very, very, very good quality furniture. All of their furniture is vetted in advance, it's all very professionally cleaned. And to be absolutely honest with you, it is as good as new. And it's certainly absolutely fine when you move from another country to buy this furniture. And obviously, it's doing good for charity as well. What is the cost? I hear you say. So, for example, when we came back from Hong Kong to the UK, we basically decided to furnish the entirety of our house with furniture from the British Heart Foundation. So, because they knew that this is what we were going to do, they gave us a great discount on all of the furniture that we decided to go ahead with anyway. And I remember totaling up our total cost, and we went ahead with a three-bedroom terrace house. Our total cost, beds, sofas, all of the furnitures, tables, everything, you name it, was around about 1,500 to £2,000. So that obviously represents a huge saving on furniture that you would otherwise buy new. And it effectively meant that rather than spending sort of 10 to 15,000, we spent one and a half to 2,000. So that means obviously that you can save the best part of £10,000, which is obviously going to make your transition to the UK a lot easier. And I know it certainly did make my transition back to the UK a lot easier.